Good afternoon, morning, evening or night, ladies and gentlemen out there, you worms and wormlets. This is the JARCAST.
JARCAST is the slightly smaller JARCAST than usual. We've got
Jim's off with his Mexican family having a good old time.
Yeah, smoking
Ruben's
loads of weed.
Smoking loads of weed, just
having a blast, you know.
Sickening, man.
Jim's a wild boy. He is crazy.
So I'm your host, Alex, and it's just me and James.
It's us two. It's the classic. It's the classic, which hasn't happened.
Is this the only time this has ever happened?
No, last year, because Jim was away last year as well. I think we did like 1 or 2 episodes, or 1 at max, so it was just us two. We've never really done
I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember. I know we've done lots of what we dubbed as broadcasts, where it was just me and Jim.
That was like
for a time.
Early Jar, when, you know, Ruben was at uni and I was out as well. But there was never much James x Alex. There's never ever been a James and Ruben. That's never happened.
That's never happened.
It probably won't happen. There's never been a me and Jamie cast. It's only been me and you, and then just.
You've done one without me though, the 3 of you.
Yeah, and it was really bad. It was a really bad episode.
I've actually never listened to it. I've been meaning to.
It's not that good.
Maybe if we reach the Patreon stretch goal, which, speaking of, thank you for all the patrons out there who will support the show and make things possible. Woo!
Yeah, because the episode where you weren't there was like a meme. It was like this.
It was a meme, was it?
Yeah, because it was just.
I flicked through it before and been like, yep, they're just talking about topics, which for JARCAST around about then probably would have been like, wow,
good.
They're actually talking about something.
They're actually doing something instead of just arguing about Coe and crap.
God, that's such
but
a bad
that was
episode.
during the period where every episode was about Marvel, so we probably talked about Marvel or Jessica Jones or something.
I miss those days.
I don't,
because we just don't get enough Marvel anymore.
We do. We just get.
I was being
really
sarcastic as well.
Okay,
this is like a James blab from.
I clearly didn't get your sarcasm.
It's because everything I say sounds like I'm really unenthused and that I don't care about it. So.
Well, no, but
I can't blame you.
We've done loads of James blabs, like really early Jar. We did loads of James.
Yeah,
blabs.
for those that don't know, Jar Media used to not have a podcast, at least in this form. We had a show called Blabs, which we still do now and again, but we had a very special series of blabs, which are still out there, called James Blabs. I'm sure if you just put James Blab into YouTube, you'll find them.
That was prior to you moving to your flat. So that was the really old school Jar of being in your bedroom with one Blue Yeti mic on the desk.
Oh my god,
with your tiny laptop and recording that way. That's how we used to do videos, and that is our origins.
Yeah.
And some of our best Jar content was on that era because it was so off the chain. It was just completely.
There's just no structure, nothing holding it together.
If we had a video like Jim or Boom would be in the background just shouting or something like that.
They'd just shout out whenever they felt like it, and singing "Shake It Off" by Taylor Swift with Final Fantasy 15 beta, whatever it was called, Duske demo or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's the whole James's racist video where Jim would just come in and say something really racist. It's just like, what the fuck?
Where I had the same 5 games I'd use footage from in the background.
That was Final Fantasy 15. What games were out during that period? Because I literally can't remember back.
I used the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 a fair amount.
You used a lot of
that one was in the James's racist episode.
That was in the James
episode.
One. I can't remember if the other. It was Destiny. You didn't use Destiny. No, we did use Destiny a few times, I remember.
A couple times. Because I remember doing a blab on that first expansion for Destiny or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because originally Jar Media was my contingency plan. Because I made it around the time where it's look, these really shit channels that put no effort in are starting to really take off. So I was like, maybe if I just have one of those on the side, just see what happens. And then just morphed into the most fuck them.
It's just morphed into this where it's actually somewhat better quality, but just completely off the rails still in this kind of weird way.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
what do we want to lead with? Because we had a funny thing happen just moments ago, actually, while we were...
To talk about that, we've actually talked about what we've been doing.
Okay, what have you been doing? It's been ages for us.
It has, because we pre-recorded the last episode for when Jim went away. So it's been quite a while. And I've fallen victim to the next big BR game.
Battle Royale?
Yep. I've just been paying shitloads
Let's put on our gamer caps. Right, it's on.
I've been playing just a shitload of Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
Like, I've never been this invested in a game ever. Like,
it's not true. You mean since
the big
glorious Modern Warfare 2?
Yes. It's like, it's at the point where I will get home and I will like run through my door like a child, like, yes! And just get upstairs to play Apex Legends. I fucking love it because it's just Modern Warfare 2.
Made by the same people.
Yeah, so. It's the same game. I play it the same way. Where it's like, I don't think. It's all instinctual. I just know what to do.
Your subconscious mind just takes over.
It's still there. So I just play it like that and I have just
That's
great
incredible.
fun. And this is how we...
You play it on PC, of course.
I play it on PC with a controller. Only way to play it.
Really? Controller. I'm sure someone out there will have a problem with that.
So obviously the PC being the one with all the better players, I you know, they're getting handed some fucking ass. You know, they're getting... I love it though.
So you were showing me the basics of the game on Xbox One because, you know, I'm still behind.
You're still on the Xbox, so I played a few rounds and we did this one match where just shit everything, but there was this I died quickly. We had a teammate, a squad mate, he was a bit vocal about his discontent with my play.
Like, I forgot people actually still do this.
Yeah.
Or that it's even an option anymore.
It's like playing PC, it doesn't happen because you have to exit the program to go into the whatever thing to message.
So what happened was get a little notification after James finishes the game saying, you got a message from someone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what does it say? Open it up. Skadoosh, it's probably something really nice. It's just 3 of the clapping hand emojis followed by scrub. First off, I cannot believe that language is still being used. Scrub.
That was like Modern Warfare 2. That language was really old. Scrub.
That's one I never actually used.
I never used it.
I remembered using like noob quite a lot.
Everyone used noob. If you're a gamer, haven't used noob, you're not really a gamer. Let's be real. Everyone's used gamers like noob at some point.
And pwned, that kind of shit. Everyone did that too around the same time.
I was never that cringy. Pwned and pwnage.
Let's be real. Like scrub, noob, pwned, it's all in the same bucket. So if you use any of it,
no, because scrub is like the edgy one for the people who think they're really good. I'm like fucking scrub. That's the type of stuff I would say. But I never said that. I never said scrub.
But yeah, of course I see this and my my mouth starts watering because it just takes me straight back to when I was probably the worst person I ever was, to be honest. Just this cretin, this bedroom cretin who would live just to troll people and message people.
It's the IGN board comment section, kind of
that's what. Honestly, being a troll on IGN in like 2009, 2010 did dictate my trajectory through life. No, I'm being serious because it's the dumbest thing you ever said. Listen to my rationale. Obsessed with IGN for some reason, just always going in the comments.
I don't get that because whenever I'd see you, it'd always just be you complaining about IGN, but you literally spent all of your time just on the IGN.
Love-hate relationship, you know how it is. That's where I got my gaming news. As a gamer, I needed somewhere to get my gaming news.
Well, to be fair, this was at the time when all of these like YouTube channels used to do gaming news weren't a thing. You literally had to get it from IGN or those type of places.
I mean, I still look at IGN. I still love the app. It's a really bad app, but I still do look at the stories. I've actually never
used IGN. I've never ever gone on IGN.
Really?
Yeah. My only experience of it is your experience of it, basically.
Second-hand IGN experience. Yeah. But yeah, because I was sort of a bit of an infamous troll on IGN. I got replies from...
Was that the John Smith? Is that you think?
I made Killzone sucks ass, and a bunch of other, you know, probably quite offensive names.
Like, people won't get that. If you say Killzone sucks ass, most people nowadays don't get that. But because we were in that era where Killzone was like the big competitor to Halo, it was like PlayStation thing.
It was like 2008, 2009, where it was all about... I think Killzone 3 was coming out and everyone on Xbox already had Halo 3, so it was like, yeah, this is the battle. Yeah. And everyone was like, look at how beautiful Killzone 3 is. And I was sat in my corner saying, no. This will not stand. I'm going to prove my worth by going into the comments
and fucking arguing with whoever.
I was the problem in a lot of ways.
You were cancerous, and you were.
Yeah,
bad.
I will take full responsibility for that. But yeah, I got replies from many of the IGN staff. I remember Greg Miller even replying to me.
Oh my god, really? You actually got noticed by the IGN big boys?
And it was always something like a very adult response, like, "Look, you're being very immature. If you've got nothing good to add, then just go away."
And you're like, no.
Which to me was just like the funniest thing in the world, because it's just a kid.
It's just it was your best era because it was just funny because you just scream laugh at every single thing.
Oh, I'd also troll Amazon reviews. And
I forgot about your Amazon reviews.
Yeah, I would write these like really elaborate reviews for products on Amazon.
Are they still on your Amazon account?
Yeah, they're still there.
You need to get them up. We need to. Alex, some of them are fucking gold.
And there was Yahoo Answers as well.
Oh, Alex, really? Yahoo Answers?
Yes. I would ask these like absurd questions. And would like try and get points from them or something. But my Yahoo Answers account got banned for something I remember thinking was quite unfair. And I was very upset because I could no longer go and look at the funny questions I'd asked in the past because my account was banned. That really upset me greatly.
You think during this age, like everyone else would only know about it by just the screenshots you'd probably post on the Facebook group? You just post these really dumb answers, no context, and that was how we find out about it all. And then we go there and you'd like read it out and go through it, and it's just like, oh my god.
So in a way, that trolling thing was my equivalent of your passion for Modern Warfare 2, in a way. That was mine.
You just go home every day to just be like, I'm just going to troll today. I'm angry today, I'm going to troll even harder.
Yeah. I wasn't even like...
But the thing is, you weren't like a normal, like one of the predictable trolls. You were really weird.
It wasn't like out of frustration and genuine hatred. It was just like mischief, like low-key. Just I want to be annoying.
And you did it in the weirdest ways because you wouldn't word it all like a normal troll. You'd be really kind of smart with it in this weird way. And then that morphed into like the whole Iceman thing with trolling Iceman, and that ended up being Jar, and that's kind of...
And for some reason, on IGN, once upon a time when I was browsing, like I did daily, there was a video from spill.com that was on IGN for some reason, so I watched it and was like, well, this is shit, I'm going to go watch all their videos, and then went and watched all of them and became the biggest spill.com fan, which is what started my whole like love for movies and everything like that. And I've never been as into like any community or fandom or anything as I was for Spill.com.
I even tried to
obsessed with it.
I tried to get into Spill when it was later in their life before they came double toasted and that the whole split. And I remember that. I'm like, yeah, they were good.
Oh man, I was genuinely quite upset when that website was taken down and the crew like disbanded. Yeah, it was like a real. How am I going to entertain myself now? It was such a like routine for me where it's like, right, they got this podcast on this day and they got this thing on it and movie reviews and everything. It's like a safety net for me, and then it all just evaporated.
And then you had to make your own fun. You had to find something to fill the void.
So then, with my hatred from them being shut down and the pure anger, I guess I made IHE just to get. And honestly, the happiest moment of my life was when one of the Spill members replied to me on Twitter. And I could finally say thank you to them. But what a great moment that was. That was genuinely, I was like so happy on that day. Man. But yeah, point is, Xbox Live trolling.
Xbox Live trolling, which we both did quite badly. We both were trolls.
So we used this opportunity earlier with someone actually, because normally people don't respond to messages, they just ignore it. They realise that there are much better things to be doing with your time than just trolling people, but...
Nowadays people don't reply unless they're like the really... bottom
feeders, yeah. So he said scrub, to which I replied, tell that to your mom. I assumed he was American for some reason, so I spelt mum as M-O-M.
He did have quite a Scottish name, let's be real.
Well, I was about to read his name, but I don't want to like
fucking dox him by accident. Oops, sorry, Lee.
To which he replied, "Are you 12? A mum joke. Get the fuck out." And then a bunch of emojis. Oh, and he called me kid as well. That's important.
Oh, the kid.
You kind of whoever calls the other one a kid first sort of wins, because you can't come back from being called a kid, because they can always just retort with, "You're alright, kid, child."
Yeah.
So that hit me. So it was like, right.
You got red mist, Alex. You were just like, oh shit.
So then I replied with, "Well, I went for her at the club. She's easy." In reference to, of course, his mum, which I talked about before. I like going for the lowest, as in the lowest possible sort of retort. No one makes like mother jokes anymore, like seriously.
That's dead. That's
like that. So then, of course, he says, "At the club," about 20 laughing emojis. "Never been to a club in your life." And he was a bit right about that.
To be fair, I haven't either, and I think that's a good thing. But get headaches.
I replied with, "Well, it might be worth asking who your real dad is. Just saying." Woo! To which he replied with, "Okay, kid."
Yeah, he went back on the kid thing. He did.
Yeah. See, it's a great fallback. So a bit of advice for anyone out there.
Who wants to troll? Use the kid.
If you want to be a good, if you want to shut down trolls or be a good troll, just call them young or a kid or something like that puts them down and you can't come back from it. But I responded with destroyed ? Sorry, no. Destroyed full stop ? Would be very different. And he just kept biting. I don't know why he kept replying.
Biting, yeah.
Like, to me, this is so obvious that it's just a goober being a goober.
Yeah.
But he said, "Yeah, destroyed. Kid, you're spitting out mum jokes. Simmer down."
Simmer down. That is... Oh, simmer down.
Then he
actually pisses me off, no joke. Because it is so like, "Oh, I'm so fucking bigger than you, better than you."
Mm-hmm.
It's like...
Well, of course, when he says things like this, I picture him being...
a bit of a laddie, kind of gets out, has a strong bow,
ripped as well.
Yeah,
could crush me.
A Stella. Yeah, wife beater. He has a wife beater. That's what I think when people say simmer down. It's like, thanks.
He said we finished his sentence with, "Didn't have much to say when I invited you to the party, though?" ? In reference to Xbox Live parties, because I guess he did send an invite when you were playing or something.
Yeah, he did, because we were actually playing and he was in the squad. So it's even before we had the argument. It was just, no, I'm not joining the fucking one.
And I replied with, "I've got invites off, actually. Too popular." And not T-O popular, it was the number 2 and then popular. I wanted to reinforce that I was like a child. He says, "Why lie? Clearly getting notifications now."
When we literally had it up non-stop, just the chat just up.
Mm-hmm. It's nearly done. I said, "Your mum does make the best meatloaf, though. Yummy."
Like, what kid would say that? Like, what kid would... Like, how can you not know that a kid would not say that?
Yeah, because he took it seriously as if I was still trying to go in.
Yeah.
To which he said, "That's it, try and deflect.
Deflect by saying that your mum makes good meatloaf."
"You're painfully cringy, man."
Painfully cringy.
And then I said, "Listen, you imp, you called me a scrub. Get real, noob." And then he replied with, "Yeah, imp is much better." 3 laugh crying emojis, then 2 of the guy with his hand, like Patrick, Star Trek man.
Yes.
Can't remember his name for some reason. "Jog on back to class, kid." So definitely English, based on this English this use of language and his name, I suppose. To which I replied with, "Go back to watching WWE, Minger."
Because his profile picture looked like a wing, like a boxing WWE wing. It was a UFC one, MMA one.
Ooh, that was the best one. Calling him a Minger.
Such an English ring.
Who the F watches WWE? 2 laugh crying emojis. He really liked using that. "All about UFC, you bum." To which I replied, Just because you play Apex, it doesn't mean you're an actual fighter. Lol. And then he went in on my spelling because every time I was saying the word your, I was spelling it Y-O-U-R. So he corrected me and said, "You are illiterate kids these days."
But he said that, but he fucked that up as well. It was pretty dumb.
Then I said, "Older than you, bub. I got a mortgage." Wouldn't think with all the mum jokes, you probably still stay with yours. And then he said, "Sure you do, buddy. A super special mortgage." And I said, I was trying to end it now because I was getting fed up.
Well, we needed to film a car, so that's kind of why.
Yeah, I probably would reply to him for just hours, if not. I said, "That's it. You're mean. Low blow, man. I was going to invite you round, but nah." And then he said, we said, "What's the password to your fort?" Out of nowhere, which I think was a joke implying that still staying with the child angle, but if I was going to invite him round, it would be to play in a fort or something, and that the fort would require a password. Quite a few levels to that whatever he said. So then I said, "My Fortnite password." And he said, "No, your pretend fort." And then I was like, oh, God, I don't know what to say anymore. So I just said, "Your mum is so yummy?" ? Then he said, "Yawn," ending it with me finally saying, "Have fun, Lee. Game on."
Emoji. The old school emojis.
So that's the troll story for you.
Really, really bad. It was a really bad story, but it was really funny at the time because
I thought it was a great story. Minga.
We're old school trollers, you know. We're like,
we're old school trollers.
Yeah,
we are. We are old school trollers.
Like, if I had to put this in a gaming analogy?
Okay.
Like, you know, in the Lord of the Rings games where they level up. We're like the highest. We're like the general now.
In the Lord of the Rings games.
Shadow of War.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, my cool gaming analogy, and you couldn't get it.
No, because there's quite a few Lord of the Rings games.
Only 2 that are good.
Well,
okay.
Lego Lord of the Rings.
That doesn't count because that's Lego. That's for kids.
But wait, explain your analogy. When you level up in Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, no. When the enemies level up, if you don't kill them and they like kill you, they level up, don't they?
Oh, with the Nemesis system.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that is a deep cut gamer reference right there.
Oh, actually, probably cringed half of the audience.
They're gonna all leave comments calling us kids, and we can just call them mingers.
Minger. That's such an English thing, and I've never heard it. You said you've heard it here, but I've never heard it in.
I swear I learnt the word minger from living in Wiltshire.
No, I've never. I don't think I've been called minger.
I don't think I've been called a minger before, but I remember hearing someone say it and thinking, "Gosh, that's a very odd word."
Well, let's be real. If you want to be more precise with that, you'd hear it in school by boys calling girls mingers. That's like how. That's how it was like used, wasn't it?
Shall I see what the Urban Dictionary definition of minger is?
Yeah.
Because it might be actually really offensive in like, you know, its intended use.
It might be.
Minger. It's spelled M-I-N-G-E-R.
Minger. Oh, you're such a minger.
Oh, okay. So I didn't even have to go on Urban Dictionary. Google has a result.
Yeah, and what's the result from Google?
Minger.
Minger. You're a minger. An unattractive or unpleasant person or thing. Informal, derogatory. So yeah, it's quite versatile then, really.
Minger.
Urban Dictionary reckons it's a male or female who fell out of the ugly tree at birth and hit every branch on the way down.
Yeah, it's not to do with being unpleasant. It's just literally, it's used for like, you're not attractive. And to be fair, if you're generally calling someone a minger because they might not be as good looking as you, you're minger. You're not very nice,
yeah, you are a true minger if you say that.
If you say minger, yeah.
If you say minger and you really mean it.
You're like...
If in a stressful, combative situation, the word you go to is minger, then you are a minger. I'm afraid that's just how it goes.
And no, but if you think back to all the people in our school who said minger.
I thought you didn't hear it ever. I heard it quite a lot.
I know, I just contradicted myself, but...
So you did hear it then?
Yeah, the people who used mingers were, you know what type of people they were.
Mingers.
And you know where they've ended up now.
Actual mingers.
Yeah. Because, they might have called someone, a minger. And when they don't have a job and they've got like 2 kids, it's like, minger.
I learnt the C word in year 7. The C word being cunt.
Can you see you next Tuesday?
Yeah, see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday was the way that everyone tried to get around saying it.
Well, because in year 7, the C word was like, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
No one can say that. You'll get in so much trouble if anyone hears you say that. But I remember hearing, it was in maths. Someone called Joe threw a chair at Amy in maths. No, sorry, not a chair. It was the bin. So rubbish went everywhere.
Even worse. What's worse, a chair or a bin?
It didn't go anywhere near her, but she was the type where she would like pretend that she's really like distressed by it.
Oh god.
I was like, yeah, I think it got me on the arm. But he called the teacher a cunt for some reason. I didn't hear it quite properly, and of course, if you don't know what the word was, I thought he said unt.
Munt or like...
I thought he just said unt, and it was like an insult I'd never heard before.
You unt.
So I remember. So then, like, flash forward to going on some family holiday where my older cousins were there, and somehow the conversation turned to swear words or something, and I was like, "Yeah, I heard a pretty bad swear word the other day," and they're like, "Oh, what is it? Whisper it into my ear," and I whispered "unt" into his ear. But from the way I whispered it, it must have just twigged that it was cunt. So he wasn't like, what's unt?
As soon as you hear an unt, you just know, you just instantly know it's cunt. And I must say, it's a really horrible word. I hate it.
If you're using it to actually attack someone, it's a very, very unpleasant word. But
I think it's more unpleasant when people don't use it for that.
But you use it all the time.
What? I don't use it all the time. Okay, no, when do I ever use that word?
The main reason it became a part of my vocabulary was because of you.
That's assigning a lot of blame onto me. I'm going to have to explain this because I'm starting to feel really bad. Okay, I did use it a lot during my early years as a kid. I kind of did say it a lot. No, because it was the Facebook group. That's why. Because I remember going through that, and I would always use it to insult you specifically. It was just like, that's it, I've got to call Alex a cunt.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a horrible word, and I hate it, and I try not to use it
because of it. The female angle.
Yeah.
For being quite. Yeah.
That's like when it's used in that kind of way, I find it even more disgusting. Cause it's just like,
yeah, of course,
that's really horrible. Ugh.
When you actually go through insults and you realise actually quite a lot of them are based around putting down women.
It's
a bit
terrible. I only use cunt seriously if I'm really, really angry. I've said it in front of my parents, which is really bad, and I hate it. But I just got really angry, and I was just like,
really?
Just like, this person's being a cunt. And I hate it. One of the worst things anyone can do, I think, is just swear. We're so used to swearing now, and it's really not that good.
Do you think it's the worst thing someone can do?
No, it's in to have it a part of your everyday life where there's got to be swearing in it. Like, I was in a restaurant yesterday with my other friends, and he was like, my friend was like having a swear word in every sentence in a family restaurant, and it's just like, stop.
Yeah, context does matter with swearing, I reckon.
I swear too much, and it's a really bad habit, so I need someone to be like, James, stop swearing, come on. Because I need to be influenced in that way.
Well, on that note, we'll be back after these fucking messages.
You cunt.
Right, so before we move on to the questions from the Jarlings, I was sorting out my emails today. That's probably the most adult sentence I've ever said out loud.
Well, how many emails?
I was sorting out my inbox the other day.
How many emails do you have in your inbox?
Oh, countless. Because every YouTube channel I'm associated with has their own inbox and their own like email, so it's just like, forget about it.
Do you know? I'm gonna sound really adult here. Dealing with queries in your inbox is like the most enjoyable thing you can ever do in a job. It's when you've got to deal with people.
Enjoyable?
I love queries, yeah. It's like when someone's like, I'm not paying this because of this, and you're just like, hold up. And then you have to do 15 million years worth of just getting information, and you put it in an email, and then they're like, no, fuck off, I'm not paying it. I love it. Literally go to work, I'm just like, is there any queries? Because I just want to deal with them.
Maybe it's just a problem with English voices, because I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. Are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
You just described like the worst scenario ever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not what normally happens in my job, but I still like doing that for some reason. I just like dealing with like queries.
Sometimes simple data entry and stuff.
I don't like the simple stuff. I like dealing with like the hardcore stuff.
Okay, you do you, man. But
see, I've got the managerial fucking mindset. I like dealing with the problems.
You're in a way you're addicted to queries. Not a fan of any substance. You're a fan of the vague idea of a query. That's what gets you. That's what gets you going. But I was going through my emails anyway, and I found an email from 2011.
Okay, that's how did you find that?
8 years ago. Because I've been using the same email for a long time, so it's got.
I use Alex's email if I need to sign up for Wi-Fi at random places. I always use your email.
Do you actually? That's why I get so much like garbage then.
Yeah, that's me. It's all me. It's like I'm in the dentist. I need to use the Wi-Fi. Sign up as Alex. All of Alex's information.
Guess what this email from the 14th of December 2011 was to?
No idea. I have no idea.
It was to you. I emailed you on the 14th of December 2011. And can you guess what it said and what it was?
You emailed...
It's 2 words and a picture.
Oh, God. It'll probably be fuck off.
Nope. Too obvious. No, it just said totally legit with a picture of a dick and a poorly drawn cartoon character eating the dick's sperm.
Let me see.
If I remember, I'll put it on screen now.
Yes, I remember that. Because we've actually both used the same email addresses for years. What was the email address there?
I'm not going to say my email address, but...
Is it HK?
It might be. Must be. It has your name on it, so...
Do you want to play a game? Let's go through my emails. See if I can find the same email.
But there's this like really badly written text at the bottom. Can you tell what that says? Is that supposed to just say "way"?
Yes, that says "way."
Does it?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
The thing with my email address is I don't actually know how to search. Inbox.
Do you not just use Gmail? There's a big, magnifying glass normally you can press.
No, because I'm using the Outlook app.
Oh no, not that. Ugh.
What do you mean not that? Oh no, I found it. It's right at the bottom. What's...
Just search, I don't know, search my email.
Actually,
my current email. And you'll find something of note.
I do actually.
Do you actually? You have something?
Yeah.
What is it?
It just says shit, and you sent me the fucking Dark Knight Rises fucking logo.
It says shit, and I sent you the Dark Knight.
The email literally is titled shit, and you've just sent me a picture of the Dark Knight Rises.
Wow.
I've actually got...
Maybe that was a message to my current self, because back then I was so hyped and over the moon about that movie.
Oh no, you replied saying... No, that was me. I sent you that email.
You sent me an email saying shit with the Dark Knight Rises poster.
Yeah.
In when? What? 2011?
2012.
2012. Yeah, 2011's too early.
God. We literally had a conversation on emails for some reason, and then I've got emails from the post. Oh God! Oh no! Oh no!
Find the oldest one before we move on. What? Why? Why are you looking? Why did you? Your face just went so.
Because you sent a link of some DeviantArt stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know what was in the.
Was it something I drew, or was it something embarrassing?
It's something you sent that's embarrassing. So it wouldn't load though, so it's fine. But fuck me, I didn't know actually had.
How'd you know it was embarrassing then?
Because I recognised the name of one of the people who used to like.
Was it the Halo guy?
No, it wasn't the Halo guy. It was someone else. Because the troll phase also was a DeviantArt troll phase as well when that was like peak.
Of course, DeviantArt was massively involved because I was always drawing all the time.
And you just spend your time trying to troll really bad artists on DeviantArt.
Yeah. Anyway.
Weren't we mingers?
In a way, yeah. Our personalities were quite mingery.
Now we're like the opposite mingers. We're both beautiful butterflies.
Let's ask the people out there in the Jarmy what they think. Are we mingers?
You've lined yourself up for that one.
If I'm not a minger, say in the comments that I am a minger. There we go. Impenetrable.
If Alex isn't a minger, say in the comments he is a minger.
Yeah.
No, I got that the wrong way around.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
If Alex is a minger, tell him in the comments he isn't a minger. Yeah, that's it. That's the one I wanted.
Okay, I win either way. Because I'll just read a comment saying, you're not a minger.
And that means you are a minger.
Nah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the part of the show where we answer questions from the JAR community. If you want to leave your own questions for us to answer, head over to the JAR Media Reddit, and there is a suggestion thread.
At the top.
At the freaking top, yo.
Reddit's confusing to use, though.
It's kind of confusing at first, but I understand it now. Maybe I'll fart hard. Maybe I'll fart hard. That's his name. Says.
Did it really take you that long to like read his name?
All of the. It was a capital I and two undercase L's, so it looked like 3 I's. What are your best tips for dealing with anxiety/general anxious feelings? What do you all personally do to help you feel less anxious?
Okay. This is one that I can answer.
Let's just bring the mood down a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's perfect for, yeah. Well, to me, there's like, there's different ways you get anxious. There's like, anxiety and the stuff we've talked about before and that stuff. But then there's times when you've got to do something you're anxious about, like doing a speech or something like that. For me, they're like 2 separate forms of anxiety, I guess.
They are different because one is rational and one isn't.
Yeah.
Sort of.
With the rational, with which one was the right?
I would say that being scared and anxious about, doing some kind of public speaking thing is maybe not rational in the sense that you're not actually going to necessarily, be put in any danger or harm or anything like that, but it can be a stressful, worrying experience.
Okay. For that one, I can't. For that type of stuff, I cannot calm myself at all. I'm that focused on that event that I've got to do that I just there's no way to get myself out of it besides doing it. As soon as you do it, it's like that's when you calm down and that's when it all goes fine.
Yeah.
It's just the but the other one, which is
the other type of anxiety, the other group would be something along the lines of, I'll use an example I might have where I have this weird thing about phone calls where I hate calling people.
No, I have the same.
I actually cannot stand when I'm in a phone call. I can, I can perform.
It's like you're from like Babe Stage or something. You got to perform that on the phone.
That's what it must feel like. I'm sure. But yeah. But there's nothing rational about that. There really is absolutely nothing. It's just a quirk.
Yeah. For that type of stuff, my whole way to stop it is to literally listen to music mainly. Because if I'm in that mindset and being so rational and I'm getting all into this state, it's like if I put on music on, I'm at least taking my mind away from it, and I just calm down over time. You know, I had that this week on Monday. I had it really bad when I was just sitting at work feeling like terrible. I just put some music on, cleared my mind, and it was fine.
So that was with an irrational sort of anxious burst.
So I just put music on, some music I like. During that stuff, it's normally like a Kendrick Lamar song or 9 Inch Nails. Like, it's got to touch that really edgy kind of thing. That's interesting. We're going to go into that more later, though.
I like listening to music in a similar way, but I prefer calm, relaxing type sounds as opposed to aggressive. I'm going against the machine type stuff.
See, with calm music, I like calm music when I'm naturally calm anyway. Like, calm music won't calm me. If I'm in a state, I need to have something that's going to make the blood pump like in the opposite direction to be like, to get you more focused. That's how I normally go through it. So like 9 Inch Nails, just love listening to stuff when I'm in a really bad mood, because it's just like, you become like more positive from it. That's my way. But obviously there's loads of other ways to deal with anxiety, you know. Sometimes just sleeping is what I've done before, which isn't the best for some people, but you have to find what works for you, really. Because, you know, sometimes music might not work for some people, but...
I do actually have an album to recommend to those who might want to try listening to something to calm them down, perhaps, or maybe change their mindset or something. It's called Weightless Ambient Transmission Volume 2 by Marconi Union. Especially the first song on that album is very, very good. I think that even if you don't need it and you heard that song, you'd be like, yeah, that's calming, that's relaxing. So that's helped me.
The only bit of advice I'd give is to not use something that becomes addictive. Like, if you're anxious, don't do something that's gonna negatively affect you.
Don't drink alcohol or
alcohol, drugs, whatever, speed. You know, just don't ever do something like that, because that's only gonna make you worse down the line.
Yeah,
but that's kind of,
you can sort of get addicted to any type thing, can't you? So it's always best to try and sort it out yourself.
Yeah.
I remember the last time I was like sickeningly anxious to the point of like barely being able to function was the day before my driving exam. I couldn't actually handle how horrible I felt the night before.
Driving exam is a very good one, because even I was like in the morning was just like shaking and like kind of the same way I would if I had to do like a public speech.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing, and it's just like, you got to just do it. You've just got, as soon as it's done, it's fine.
As with most sort of anxiety-related ailments, it's all about the anticipation of something.
It's always the anticipation, yeah.
Because once I was in the exam and actually driving, it was like, oh, I'm just driving a car, and I'm just doing the same things I've been doing for the past. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. And I found nothing was really helping for that.
That I can't fix that at all. I've tried like taking breaths, but no, my heart's like, no, this is, until you've got past the first bit, it's like, it's not good.
I did a lot of pacing that night, I remember. Tried to distract myself.
Whenever I'm anxious, I always pace. I always pace. It's like the only way to cope with it.
Yeah. But on the plus side, as long as you haven't like murdered someone, or you're a drug dealer that's about to be caught and you're feeling that kind of immense anxious feeling, a lot of the time, using this driving exam one as an example, afterwards you feel, that was actually fine, that was okay. Now because of that, I've learned something and I'm better because of it.
The thing, I whenever you get that after feeling, I'm always like, I always think I'm really stupid for getting anxious in the first place. That wasn't so bad. It's just like, great, thanks, brain.
But yeah, a lot of the time, if you're forcing yourself out of your comfort zone in some way or another, you're at the very least improving something about yourself.
Yeah, you sure? It's just
the way you handle things, even if things do go badly, and you know you haven't broken one of the
laws of the land.
One of the laws of the land, then
you'll be fine. You just gotta I think it's something that will improve with age as you get older and you do more of it. It's like you just start to feel better.
I feel like I'm right on the cusp now of starting to really not give a shit about what anyone thinks about me, because when I guess it really starts sort of in secondary school, where you start being like in your little shell or whatever, and you just you really care about what other people think about the things you like and the way you look and everything like that. And gradually, as you get older, you gradually realise
it's like a survival instinct to not make other groups.
Well, it's must fit in.
Yeah.
Must not stand out, so I'm not bullied or whatever. So I can't be picked on for anything. Is the thought process there? Because I remember, I think I mentioned it before, but just being like embarrassed of the music I was listening to.
I was embarrassed of everything. I was embarrassed of like showing my legs, wearing shirts.
That kind of thing is it's just normal for that kind of age. And depending how extreme it was when that stuff did set in, the more extreme it is, the more time it probably takes to get over it as you get older. Yeah. I mean, neither of us are particularly old still. We're both...
we're still young.
In our 20s, so...
And it's taken its time, but there was like a point where it just kind of clicked, where it's just like, I've been so ridiculous that I don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to not give... So you naturally... It takes time to get to there, though. It gets to a point where it's like...
Yeah.
And it's always going to improve as you get out of school, because, in the real world, people aren't going to really care if you, like, listen to music.
No, exactly, yeah. Now we're at a point where we can, rationally sit down and say what if you don't like the song from Final Fantasy 13 that I'm listening to?
Yeah. So I had a funny thing with that. It's like on the weekends I clean my car, and because it's like my garage area, it's like a shared community one, so it's like like 4 garages on one side, 4 on the other, and we've got ours there. So our cars are parked there, and I started cleaning my car. So I have the garage open, so I put music on. And this day I was just feeling like 80s Japanese city pop music. So I put it on, and then my neighbour comes out, and it's just like I was washing my car. So if I went back, it'd be really obvious. I was just like, I've got to stick it out. And it was like the most weeaboo song in the world, and I was just like, don't care.
Do you remember what it was called?
I can't remember what it was called, but it was just like...
That's a
but
very
then it's like the
story.
next one, I don't know the next one was going to be. So if they're out ages, it could just be even 10 times the work, but it was just like...
Do you not wear headphones?
No, because it's going through a speaker system. Because that's like the garage vibe. Is
true,
like
yeah,
out.
True.
And I don't even care about that anymore. Like,
that's funny, yeah.
In the summer, if I've got my windows down, I'm probably going to be playing some like Japanese music. It doesn't matter, and it just takes time to get that. But
I still like drawing as little attention to myself as possible. Which is ironic, considering, putting videos out for thousands of people to watch and whatever, but...
I'm kind of the same, but then you think everyone in my town knows me because of my car. Just like...
They know your car, then?
They know my car. So, it's just that, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any other tips or if we've missed anything
not
major. Really. There was a good reply from Poofart99.
The person you want to be replying to comments about anxiety, Poofart.
Yeah. Very jar. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. My tip would be to surround yourself with the people you love most in any way, shape or form. Perhaps the Jar crew can be those people.
Yeah, surround yourself with the man who used to try IGN boards and me.
Because it's kind of given me this wise aura about me now. I've seen things.
Do you think you're wise?
Me, no. If you're...
Me?
I don't think anyone in their 20s can be wise.
I'm definitely wise.
And if they think they're wise, they're not.
No, I've been called wise before. I don't know, maybe it's because I don't give advice that's stupid. I'm actually like, I can give advice, like, that's a bit stupid, maybe you shouldn't do that. I think people think wise nowadays is like not being dumb.
Sort of is in a way, having wisdom, knowledge.
But I think, what is wisdom? What is it?
It's just kind of being around for long enough to the point where you can...
Learn from experience?
You can at least sound like you know what you're talking about.
But surely that's
like owls. Owls are wise.
It's just an experience thing. It's just ageism.
Sort of. But like, you can safely trust that a 70-year-old woman, probably based on just the sheer amount of time that they've existed, that they have experienced more things and kind of know a bit more than a 13-year-old.
Exactly.
Who's only had 13 years on the planet.
So if you want to go ask someone for good whiskey, you don't ask me, you ask someone who's old, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, chances are, if I was in a shop and I saw two people working there, one was you and one was like an old man, and I wanted to know which whiskey would have this and that, I'd probably go to the old man.
And then I just stare at you like...
Whiskey wisdom. Yeah,
whiskey wisdom. Which I don't have, to be fair, even though I drink it.
Totes Retard, to be honest, asks, while Nibber Grinch is already the best meme of 2019, what are your guys' opinions on Tyler, the Creator, himself? You familiar with Tyler?
I'm familiar with his really weird videos he posts on Twitter of like BMXing while wearing like a massive like swan costume and like going mountain biking and crashing and just being like, that's all I'm aware of him. I've never listened to his music. I just think he's quite funny on Twitter. He's a bit bizarre.
What about his music?
Never listened to it, so I don't really know.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems like the kind of thing you'd like, I don't know.
Yeah, it probably is the type of stuff I like, but I just haven't listened to it.
Yeah, I'm quite unfamiliar. It's not really my thing.
Yeah.
I've heard a fair few of his songs. I haven't disliked them. I've never sat down and listened to a full album though. Maybe I'll give it a try one day.
I'm just not a music person.
His Grinch song was excellent though. Magpie Lark asks, how do you avoid burning out, creatively or otherwise? Burning out. You ever burnt out on like, don't want to work on your car anymore, you don't want to, do invoices and that kind of thing? I've burnt out quite a few times.
I've burnt out. Burning out is normal. Everyone burns out. Like, Jar hasn't. Has Jar burned out? Would you say we burned out?
There are points, yeah, where you're like, it's
Actually, no. I burnt out with Jar. I've burnt out with Jar before because there was a period when I didn't show up, and I was kind of just like, I'm done with Jar.
Mm-hmm.
I've burnt out with being friends with you like every other week. It's just like, fuck Jar.
It's like the swings and roundabouts thing where if you haven't, what's the term again?
You're trying to think, aren't you?
Burning out. If you haven't burnt out yet and you've been doing something for a long time, you're either very lucky or it's coming soon. Especially when you're doing, I don't know, I can only speak from my experience with the things I've done, but I've burnt out plenty of times when making videos for like IHG. It can be maddening sometimes because it's just like, it's such a strange thing to kind of explain within your own mind. Like, you're just making these videos for these numbers. It's very odd.
I think with like your hobbies, everything like that, you just burn out at some point.
Doesn't mean you're done with it for good, but what it does mean is that you need a break or a holiday or something. If you probably the best advice to avoid burning out would be to be okay with letting things sit for a little bit, having a break, having a rest.
Yeah, that's what I've found, with doing car stuff. It's like if I just ingest loads of car stuff all the time, I just burn out and I don't want to do anything. But no, I haven't done anything to my car in so long, it's just on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still passionate as hell about it, but it's just there.
Yeah.
It's the same with gaming. I've burnt out on gaming to the point where I don't want to touch games like for months. And I don't. And then I come back and I'm just
I burn out on games all the time.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it loads of times on the cast before, but it was around, I guess, 2015 when like Fallout 4 and Halo 5 came out. I was just like, I'm done with this shit for a while. Then I came back with Mario Odyssey and was like, yeah, The time is nigh.
You just got to be like, okay, you just have to take breaks and then just come back when you've got it back, I guess.
Moto Fears You says, do any of you still have access to RNL games? If so, do you think you can make the videos public again? I really want to see Moon Man Lives in a Bin.
What? RNL wasn't...
Moon Man wasn't RNL, that's Man Man Boy Boy
Man. We have Man Man.
The great secret is Man Man Boy Boy Man has tens of privated videos on it, I think.
Yeah.
That's where the Minecraft one is, I think, and that's where the, whatever
every video we've made, besides the lost Mirror's Edge 2 video, or Dodgestep Parkour, that's dead, but the rest is on there, they're just...
So to answer the question, yes, I can still log into RNL games. That's how I've made videos on there live before.
Yeah.
There are a couple on there. I think we did like a cooking mama in real life video.
Yes.
Which, isn't that bad. I'm not ashamed of that one. It's okay.
No, it's not that bad.
And there's that really weird one where we were starting to go mad with sound effects and things with... it was like... there was like a Batman video.
I don't remember the Batman video.
Yeah, you would kill a croc in it, remember? You had that crocodile toy in your shirt with the head sticking out.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember. I forgot that video completely existed.
There's all sorts of like weird stuff on there. Maybe one day you'll deserve it.
You'll get to a point when we're like 29, we're just like, we don't care. Upload these videos and boom. The internet, we're going to end up on Pyrocynical Sun's YouTube channel.
Pyrocynical's son.
Yeah. Those videos would have been in the commentary community like rounds. So clear, obvious.
Except, they would have been the same age at the time, so it would have been kind of rich.
We went through our cringy stage when we were 14 and not 20 and like 21.
It was kind of lucky it was before the commentator channels kind of cropped up, but whatever.
Once again, Jar Media ahead of the times.
Yeah, because now Madagascar's being memed everywhere. Jesus, man.
Moto.
We're savants. Moto, King Julian.
We're the big boys. We are. We are the big boys.
Auntie Cholos Asian Queen asks, at the time of posting this, tomorrow will be the 1-year anniversary of the beloved episode 50. How do you look back on what might be your greatest masterpiece?
When did we do episode 50?
And will we ever get episode 100 and 150?
When did we do episode 50? Because I only have like one relation for that entire year.
Do they mean episode 100?
There was episode 150, yes.
The Minecraft one?
Yes.
Where we did the cover of that, the music video. That is a great video. I went back and watched it semi-recently. And was like, yeah, that's funny as fuck. So, no?
No what?
To the question?
What was the question? I was just thinking about the great video.
How do you look back on, and will we ever get episode 100 and 150?
I look back on it and I'm just like, yeah, that was good.
It's the Twitter banner on the Jar Media
all
thing.
Just wearing dumbass hats.
Yeah. So with the small amount of time we have left, we might be able to fit this one in from Mr. Duwang Man, who says, have you boys ever watched Evangelion? I know it's an old Jar meme and Eva is shit, but I've seen it recently and would like to know what they think of it. Well, in 30 seconds, summarise Evangelion.
I actually asked you if we should make a... Is it as good as they say? Evangelion.
I can't... Honestly, I can remember nothing about it apart from lots of cricket noises. Cicadas. Yeah.
It's just like...
That's all right.
You better go read the Bible if you want to have any understanding of this show. But, Alex, we can talk about Evangelion forever, and I don't think we've got enough time.
We can talk about it briefly now if you want. But honestly, I can't really remember anything. All I remember is being like, recommended it by someone.
Me.
And being like, oh, cool, massive robots. The idea of these guys fighting is pretty cool. And then watching it and it just not being that at all.
Evangelion, I'm going to say it, massively overrated and not good. It's not good.
Is it not supposed to be some kind of like
it's just
parody or satire of that done to death, like massive robots fighting each other thing? Was it supposed to be a more introverted look at the people?
Yeah, it was all robots? About the like what the robots, I guess, that they do to the people who drive them.
Mm.
But the problem with that show is it's not enjoyable to watch. Like, people criticize games for like certain things. Evangelion, it's only frustration because nothing happens. There's not a single thing that happens in that show.
I remember it being very slow for most of the episodes, and then like a character becomes giant or something. Maybe this is in the movie.
That's in the movie. That's when Rei becomes a fucking
like a god.
She becomes like a god or I don't know.
It goes it goes pretty crazy. And to preface again, I must have watched this when I was, I don't know, 17, 18.
I'm going to say I didn't finish it.
Didn't you?
I got to the 24th or 23rd episode and was just like, I'm so frustrated of watching this. I'm so bored. I'm not going to anymore.
Yeah, so maybe we were too young. I don't know.
No, but you watch it now and you still get frustrated. Like, it's all about the characters and the mental health they have. But it's just like...
Well, my biggest issue was I didn't care or like any of the characters.
No, all of the characters are unlikable.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many videos out there of how deep it is. If you have to do all this deep research and find all this stuff to have enjoyment of the show, is not very good. That show does not give you anything besides deep, meaningful. That doesn't mean anything.
It's sort of, I remember it kind of lacking a hook.
There's no hook
for me.
There's literally no reason to keep watching.
The hook, is on paper, is that there are giant robots fighting
The
aliens.
hook is like, what it's building up to, what these angels are, and all these type of stuff. What is, why it's so weird. But it doesn't deliver it in any type of satisfying way. It's just, it still delivers it in this really weird kind of complex, like deep meaning kind of stuff.
Yeah, I might like it a lot if I greened out and watched it.
You probably would. The thing is, I like some of the stuff in it is quite cool. The mechs are quite cool, like the geofront of the city under like the earth is cool.
The design in the world was cool, but
it's got nothing else.
You could kind of clearly see the filler stuff, and the presentation, I guess, for me was what kind of drove me the most crazy. The actual animation in the episodes was quite bare. It was a lot of just like panning and very simplistic, just mouth movements and stuff, and all the actual animation was sort of backloaded into a couple of the like robot fights, which were cool with the like angels.
Yeah.
But really, nothing's really stuck in my memory from it. So, and I don't really have the want to go back and see it. But maybe if it does, it's supposed to be coming to Netflix, isn't it? So, I might give it a chance.
What I find about it is like, I'm trying to think of what I wanted to say, but I was too busy listening to you.
Anime, robots,
I think people think it's really good and people see it through rose-tinted glasses because it's like the most legendary anime in the world. Like people
is it more legendary than like Cowboy Bebop?
Yes. Cowboy Bebop is actually good, but Evangelion is this whole like so deep, it's so complex type thing when it's not. So people see it and they're like, oh, I noticed this.
Is it that classic thing of, I don't really understand what's happening, so I'm just going to assume that it's quite clever?
Yeah. That is basically it, because there's nothing clever about that show. Like, you can have shows that have this kind of deeper meaning that can be satisfying and rewarding, because I've seen those type of shows. Evangelion does not do that. There's nothing... People won't want to admit the only reason that Evangelion became famous to the point where we know about it is because of waifus. Fucking the two main characters, that's all it is. It's just because, we can sell merchandise of Asuka and Rei. That's it. That's the only reason why it's become legendary.
I remember the main character crying quite a lot.
Yeah.
And being quite upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asuka was the...
And he had his anime dad that had those reflective glasses.
Yeah, what's the pose? I can't remember what the pose is. He does the pose. It's a famous pose.
Oh.
He's sitting on the desk. I can't remember it.
I foresee lots of angry comments.
Do you know, the last episode, I was actually, or the, semi-last episodes, it was the entire episode was just in a black room with a chair. And it was going through like Shinji's, or whatever his name is, like mental health. And it was all like, it ended with them all saying congratulations. I wish I was fucking high because I didn't understand a single thing about it.
Well,
it was just like...
Yeah, I don't know, I might like it now, but it's fun and easy to make fun of because, it's
I'm going to compare it to Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell, well, it's about as deep, meaningful and just full of nothing. But Ghost in the Shell actually looks a tiny bit pretty.
Well, I kind of remember the Ghost of the Shell movie because I saw it only a couple of years ago or a year ago or something.
Like, I'm a big fan. I'm a massive fan of Ghost in the Shell, but I would still say the first movie is literally empty. It's just like deep.
The first movie was very, very strange.
It's artsy. It's all it is. But Evangelion's not artsy. It was nothing.
It had the same issues I remember having with Evangelion.
Yeah.
Is it Jellion or Gellion? Evangelion. But I remember once upon a time saying Jellion and it annoying someone, and I think I kept calling it Jellion because of jelly, and jelly's funny, so... But yeah, Ghost in the Shell, it was a bit like, what was the fucking point of any of that?
Yeah, but it's just
like... You spend 30 seconds just like lingering on this painting of like a robot or whatever.
It's really good, like animated and stuff when they animate it. And the last like... probably 10 minutes. That action scene at the end is really good. The animation is really great. But besides that, Ghost in the Shell doesn't really have anything else.
I just have this intrinsic problem with dialogue from shows like that. Yeah. Especially when they're going so like deep, metaphysical and shit. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. I need more subtlety to be able to enjoy this. Just doesn't gel with me, bro. But if you enjoy it, whatever.
What did you actually think of the live action Ghost in the Shell?
The American one.
Yeah.
It was like the antithesis of the Japanese one in terms of it was bad for like all of the opposite reasons as the original. It was just such a straight down the middle, totally inoffensive, completely forgettable bunch of schlock. I remember nothing about it. At all, nothing. I remember watching it. I remember there being a scene where she sort of a little bit fights a tank thing.
I remember every single thing about that movie. I love Ghost in the Shell, and watching that movie, I was surprised how good it was.
It seemed quite faithful to following some kind of story.
That movie is just the start of the original Ghost in the Shell movie, combined with the end of the standalone Complex TV series. The characters they've introduced in it all standalone. So they basically took two big sources of Ghost in the Shell, stuck them together, made a movie. But to be fair, the presentation of the live action movie is great. It looks great. Everything about it is super accurate to Ghost in the Shell.
An issue, but
like some of the stuff, like who they like casted as the actors for the characters, they're great. Like Bato, the guy with the eyes.
I remember thinking he was quite cool.
He was cool. The old like head of the Section 9 or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Actual Japanese dude. Actually he actually speaks Japanese. Really cool. I think a lot of it was just like visually it's really great, but it's just an action movie.
Yeah, it felt like it needed someone with more of a flair or personality to direct it or write it or something, because it was quite quite bland.
It left me feeling empty, just like Ghost in the Shell does, because there's nothing really there. I just thought that movie is really artsy and like looks good, and I kind of like that. And my parents watched it and they didn't think. They were just like, oh, it's an action movie.
Yeah, whatever. Well, there we are. It's another episode for the books with a nice little anime bonus discussion at the end.
Oh, we can talk about anime forever. We should do Initial D as good as they say.
I'd happily watch that show. It looks funny as fuck.
No, but it doesn't. Do you even want to watch 6 seasons of it?
Oh, Jesus.
Because, Alex, past the second season, it's when it just gets really serious and it's not funny.
But when things take themselves really seriously, it can sometimes make it funnier.
No, but this is like serious, like edgy kind of serious. Like there's a character who's trying to kill the other guy in the car because his
That does sound hilarious though.
And then his brakes fail on the downhill, so they join together to stop his car from crashing. And it's just like, ooh.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. Thanks for listening or watching. We'll see you on the next episode, y'all.
Bye.
Skadoosh. That's my new thing, saying skadoosh.
Why is it your new thing?
Because of Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, I just hit my shoulder in.